Today I want to talk about a topic that is deeply personal and important to many of us: becoming the person that we are meant to be. And each one of us has a unique journey in life with its own challenges and opportunities. But the ultimate goal for many of us is to find our purpose, to discover our passion, and to live a fulfilling life. So let's begin by talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So Abraham Maslow was an American psychologist who developed a hierarchy of needs to explain human motivation. And Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory in psychology comprising of a five-tier model of human needs, often depicted as hierarchical levels within a pyramid. So I'm going to show you what this pyramid looks like. But it has 5 stages, like I mentioned. The bottom stage is the psychological needs. So that's air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction, all of those physiological needs that you need. Then the second part is your safety needs. So your personal security, your employment, resources, your health, your property, having a safe place to sleep at night. Then the next is love and belonging. So those would be your friendships, your intimacy, your family, your sense of connection. And the next one would be your esteem. So your respect, your self-esteem, your status, your recognition, your strength, and your freedom. And the last step is the self-actualization. So that's the desire to become the most that one can be. And most of the time, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is seen as something that if you are meeting each one of these, you eventually grow into the point where you can go to self-actualization. And a lot of people don't think about the fact that self-actualization is something that is a real need. We get stuck in a specific spot and then can't move on from there. So a lot of my videos are going to be very specific in creating this need for that self-actualization so that you can become the person that you want to be. And becoming that person you're meant to be is to really understand yourself, taking time to reflect on your values, your strengths, your weaknesses, your passions, and your goals. And ask yourself what really matters to you. What makes you happy, and what makes you want to achieve these things in life. This self-awareness can help you to make better decisions, set meaningful goals, and stay true to yourself. So there are some self-assessments that can be a great tool for this. So the first assessment that we're going to look at is the High Five test. This goes over your personal strengths and tells you what 5 ones work the best for you. Then there's the personal values assessment. I really enjoy taking this one. It takes different values that you have and it will compare them from one value to another until you get to your highest top priority of values. And it's very, very interesting. Then there is the Myers-Briggs, which is the 16 personalities. There are 16 different types. You mark whether you agree or disagree with that and continue on to find that personality. Then there's the Curtsy, which has the 4 temperaments. It also is based on some of those 16 personality assessments, but they provide 4 temperament types: Artesian, Guardian, Idealistic, and Rational. Then there's the Big 5 personality test. And you can learn these 5 different domains here. The Holland Code is really specifically more for a career-focused test, and it yields 6 different types of careers, and they'll give you a 3 code. So there'll be a top code or a specific type that you are with 3 different areas. And then my favorite is the Enneagram personality test, and it gives you 9 different types of personalities. You just mark, does this describe you, does this not describe you, in these different areas. So once you have a better understanding of yourself, it's time to set those meaningful goals. What do you want to achieve in life? What kind of person do you want to become? Make sure that your goals are aligned with your values and your passions, and that they challenge you to grow and to learn. I think sometimes people get into an idea of where they want to do something and they're passionate about something, and that they have these particular values, but their actions aren't really aligning with those values. And that's when it's important to evaluate those values, decide what it is that you really want, and then go after it. So what we're going to do is talk about SMART goals. So a SMART goal means that it is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And you can track your progress clearly. So celebrate your achievements along the way, and don't be afraid to adjust your goals as you grow and change. I knew that I wanted to be a teacher since I was in 4th grade, and I loved Miss Devon. She was my 4th grade teacher, and she made school so much fun and exciting. She was young and she had a lot of energy, and she sang a lot of songs, and I've always had this love of learning, and I've always wanted to help others to learn their best too. So even in the 1st grade, I remember helping a classmate with her work, and now he's a heart doctor. So, right? I did something there. So then also when I got to be in 11th grade, I was taking algebra 2, and the teacher had this crisis and meltdown. She ran out of the room crying. I have no idea exactly what was happening, but we were supposed to have a test the next day, and the kids were like, Leslie, get up there and go teach, and show us, the problems for the test tomorrow. So I was like, okay. I'm really introverted, extremely shy. But I got up there, and we had these overhead projectors that would show on the whiteboard. So you would write on the projector, and it would show on the whiteboard. So that's what I did. I started to work out the problems, and I just was like, I love this. I love teaching other people. It's so much fun. And I thought that it would be my passion, and that I could use my creativity to come up with fun and exciting lessons. And I was so excited to go into teaching. So my goal seemed to align with my values. And it was important to me to help others, to have a career centered around family, and to be creative in whatever I was doing. And then I began teaching kindergarten. Oh my. Then that's when I decided that I needed to learn from my experience. So life is full of ups and downs, and each new experience can teach us something valuable. And I learned something very valuable about teaching kindergarten. That was really more on the fact that there's a lot more that goes into teaching than just providing information to people and these students actually wanting to learn. So there's a lot more into that, and that's part of it even has to do with that Maslow hierarchy of needs. And are they getting those needs met? Can they get to a point where they can actually learn? And that's where I was really struggling with teaching kindergarten. So I embraced my failure and my setback, and set that as an opportunity to learn and grow. And it's not like I didn't get fired from my job or anything like that. I just felt like I wasn't meant to be the kind of teacher that these kids really needed in this particular way. So I took that time to reflect on what went wrong and what I could have done differently, and I learned from the experience. And I used the knowledge to improve myself, and you can also use any of your knowledge from your experiences to improve yourself and your future decisions. That's just really part of what we need to do in life anyway. And I reflected on the fact that teaching didn't really fit my personality as well. I would have to be more disciplined with students, and I was just too easygoing. I didn't want to have to change who I was to be able to do that, and still saw their struggle and wanted help. So what I did was, my dad being a counselor, I thought, that might be a new goal and more opportunity. And so I began that track after my first year of teaching. One of the other experiences that I learned was that I needed to find my people and a job with employees that felt like a family. And so I eventually landed on my counseling job at Smithville School. And that's when I was able to surround myself with positive influences. So that is another tip that is really important about becoming the best version of yourself, is surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people we surround ourselves with have a big impact on our lives. And surrounding yourself with people who inspire you, support you, and challenge you to do your best by seeking out mentors and role models who can guide you on your journey. Join communities and organizations that share your values and interests. And don't be afraid to let go of toxic relationships and negative influences that may hold you back. So the teachers at Smithville have each other's back. They help one another, support one another, and care deeply about all of the students. And when you work with about 40 teachers over the course of 10 years and no one is really leaving, it means you can form a very close connection with others, and they're there to support the kids that we all care about. While working in a school system isn't perfect, the people you work with can make a lasting difference on how you grow as a person. So take this into consideration in any job that you have. And also know that regardless, sometimes we just have to make money and there aren't always a lot of options. I get that living in a rural area myself, so even if you can't choose your coworkers, you can choose the family that you want to surround yourself with and the friends that you have. So make sure those are the people that have the same values that you have. One of the next things that you need to do is to take action. To become the person that you are meant to be requires taking the action. Don't just dream about your goals and aspirations. Take concrete steps toward them. Break them down into your goals and smaller, achievable tasks, and take action every day. Make time for your passions and interests, and prioritize your personal growth. Remember, every step that you take towards your goals brings you closer to the person that you're meant to be. And I practice certain things every day to make sure that my actions align with my values and my commitments. And I keep consistency with myself on doing these things. And I want to make sure that I do them each day. And here is my secret. So I start with master your moment. I start with meditation, and then I observe my day, and then I do monograph, and then I exercise, and then I nurture, and then I do testimony. So let me tell you what each one of those means. So meditation is where I sit for 10 minutes just in silence. Most of the time I'm breathing. Sometimes I may listen to a sound meditation. And sometimes I just listen to music, or a guided meditation is what I meant. So then the next step is I observe my day. So I think about like the commitments I've made for that day. What are the actual like things that I want to achieve in my life? And I say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I have those targets. I visualize that as I'm reading these steps and writing these steps down of like, okay, this is how I'm going to care for my body today. And these are my passions that I'm going to achieve today. And this is how I'm going to show up in my relationships and things like that. So that's how I observe my day. And then monograph is my writing. So I'm journaling like what happened that day. I'm writing my gratitude and things like that. And then exercise. So I do some type of movement every day, and I try to change that up so that I never get bored with it. And then I nurture. So what does nurture mean? It means to take care of your mind. Like when I'm saying nurture, I mean take care of your mind by having inputs that nurture your mind, that give you that personal growth that you may be seeking, that give you that motivation to keep going. So that may be that I'm going to listen to a podcast, or I'm going to watch a YouTube video, or I'm going to read a self-help book, whatever fits for you to nurture your mind. And then testimony. So testimony is making those commitments to myself that say, may I be this way. It's showing those values, reminding yourself of those values, because the more that you repeat something, the more likely that you will stick with it. So in conclusion, becoming the person that you're meant to be is a journey that requires self-awareness, meaningful goals, learning from experiences, positive influences, and taking action. And it's not going to happen overnight, and it won't be easy, but it will be worth it. So embrace your journey, stay true to yourself, and believe in your ability to become the person that you are meant to be. So if you're interested in a self-discovery journal, I've created a place to view that on my website, masteryourmoment.net, under resources.